Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a very special and very rare episode of the Knothole Game. We got a hold of some images of Galaxy's Edge that are, as far as I know, exclusive to Fresh Baked. They're provided to us by a friend of Fresh Baked and Muffin, Jeff. Thank you very much, Jeff, for these images because they're fantastic. These are the freshest images that you'll find on the net today of Galaxy's Edge. These are, maybe not even 2 weeks old. Looks like we've got 8 images to look through, and they're going to give us some looks that we haven't seen before ever in terms of how advanced the construction is on Galaxy's Edge. And we're starting with this first one here, just to give us sort of a perspective, a little bit of an idea on the density with which they are building Galaxy's Edge. It's fantastic when you consider how far this has come. Let's look back, actually. And it wasn't that long ago that this was mostly dirt. They've begun building Rise of the Resistance and the Millennium Falcon attractions there, you can see, but that's still principally dirt. And then when we look at this image now, look how dense. There's no dirt. You can't see any dirt at all, hardly, in these photos now, and what's to come. It's gonna be pretty amazing. So there's a long look from over Galaxy's Edge, and then we can get a little bit closer. Now let's drill down one more image here, and there's a lot to notice here, and hopefully you guys can comment is what you see as well. But the things that I'm gonna notice for initially is there's the path. That's the queue, the extended queue of Rise of the Resistance. We can't see this from anywhere. We can't see this from Mickey and Friends. We can't see this from the river. We can see the trees from Mickey and Friends, but we can't see that queue there, which is fascinating. And you can see how it kind of winds through this mountainside, and that is all going to be obscured and well covered. People were talking about the 28 minutes potential for this attraction, that it's going to be 28 minutes long. Now, some folks are going, there's no way they're going to make a ride that long. Pirates is, 12? No, they're not. But the ride itself, we're guessing 5 or 6 minutes, but the rest of that is going to be pre-show. And it's still attraction, right? Because that's still part of what's luring you in there, is all that build-up to the actual ride. And that's your 22 minutes of pre-show that's going to be happening through all that meandering queue. What's fascinating is that everything that you're seeing there in the lower third and through those trees, all of that is not even the proper Rise of the Resistance show building. You can't even, that thing isn't even in the frame hardly. It's that white right there, that white building right there. That's the beginning, the very front of the Rise of the Resistance show building itself, the actual ride. Everything else that you're seeing right there in the lower third is just the extended queue, the pre-show. Next thing we're going to observe, and this is the first time, I kind of lost my ish a little bit when I saw this for the first time, because we can't see this from anywhere also, is the X-Wing. It's there, it's been there for a while probably, because look at how fully fleshed out and built that thing is. There's an X-Wing, and it's very close to the entrance, and that's something that we had heard about, is that they were going to probably put an X-Wing at the very entrance, or near the entrance, as you approach from Hungry Bear. And that's what this area right here is. That's the approach from Hungry Bear right there. So yeah, there's an X-Wing right there on the ground, and that is pretty fascinating. We can also take this opportunity to compare that to some images that we have of the model, and there's the X-Wing there in the model, and it gives us a little perspective as well. We can try to plot some visual markers, if you will, in terms of how it relates to the extended show building, all that rock work that we see in the background. We've talked about this before in the regular Knothole King updates. That's all the pre-show there. I don't see that red ship anywhere though. That should be right about there, don't you think? Let's go back. So there's your blue X-Wing. And you can't really see the entrance. Matter of fact, I think the entrance to the show, or to the queue proper, is even out of frame, so we can't really see that. We can see the exit right there, and that's also showing up in our overhead image. It's right over there. Spatially, it's kind of difficult to get my head around this in some ways. Maybe it's just a trick of the angle. And also there's this kind of a random building right here. I'm not sure what that is. I haven't seen anything at concept art that would suggest what that might be. I'm guessing that's maintenance. Maybe a restroom. Who knows? Before we continue, I'll give you guys a chance to browse this image on your own so you can, make whatever observations you might find. All right, let's go to our next image, and this is being shot directly over the Rise of the Resistance building. I'm assuming that thing that's in the far right portion of the frame is the helicopter. What do they call that? A skid? But there you see the exit for Rise of the Resistance right there. There's the blue X-wing again, and I don't see, if we focus in a little bit, I'm not seeing the red vehicle at all. So that may not have been placed yet. And we can scroll this up to reveal a little bit more of the entrance to Galaxy's Edge from Hungry Bear. That's the train track right here, and that is, so we pass under there. Hungry Bear is just on the other side of that train track, and as you pass under the train, you transform from Critter Country to Galaxy's Edge, and then that's the initial path. And you can see that the entrance to that queue, to the Rise of Resistance queue, is right there. It hits you right up front. So that's the first thing you can do. If you want to ride Rise of Resistance, maybe this is the side you come in on. Who knows? All right, image number 4, and this is going to give us a very long view of the market area for the most part. I mean, we can kind of see everything. There's Rise of Resistance, there's Millennium Falcon, and then there's the market. A few things that caught my eye were the first thing was that open air building right there in the right third. And one of my favorite things to do when I look at Galaxy's Edge being constructed is to compare it to either concept art or the model to kind of give us our imaginations a little help in giving us a little context. And I believe in the concept art it's either this or this. I'm guessing the latter, this one right here. I'm guessing it's more likely this one because that one is a little more rectangular in shape in terms of the open air. That's probably one of the, because the whole market kind of is maze-like and it wanders, it's all connected and wanders through each other, and I believe this is probably one of the annexes to the main areas, but this, I believe, is that structure right there. And we can plot this on the model by using the archway, this archway right here, which is just behind the open air building. And there you can see it right here. There's the arch. There's the two buildings that bookend it. The small one, the small dome and the large dome. This is the reverse view, obviously, but we can come around the other side, and it gets us a little closer look at this structure here. And I believe this is the structure that we can see also from the Rivers of America, right through those trees. But yeah, that is, to my eye, that is that open air building. Now we got a closer look at the rooftop of Rise of Resistance, and I'm sharing this to give us, more looks at the force perspective, the sort of strategic but random placement of the force perspective spires that are going on in the rockwork that are going on above or on top of the Rise of Resistance on the rooftop. You can see there's one here. There's that stuff right there. In our next image, in the lower third, you're going to see again a closer look at that open air building that is underway. And that kind of helps me solidify in my mind a little bit more that is that one structure that we saw in the concept art. And you can kind of see how this all connects. Guests can go through here, and I'm guessing that will lead them to that dome structure there. You can turn left out of that dome structure into that open area there that leads into the Millennium Falcon. You can see the Millennium Falcon's nose in the middle of the frame. Or they can go through this path, which is also, more market, restaurants and shops and things of that nature. But it's very maze-like and random, but also, all connected. Looks like they're taking a lot of usage of... There's 4 arches. Look, there's one arch here. There's another one there. That's an arch. And that should be one more right there. And if I'm not mistaken, this arch there is the entrance from Frontierland, I feel like. Now, as I mentioned, you can see the nose of the Falcon right here, and that helps us to create context again. Here's concept art of the Millennium Falcon, and there you can see that dome structure to its left. That is likely this large dome structure here, which is part of the market. Now we can get a closer look at the Millennium Falcon. Our next image is that closer look. Now we can't see it from in front, but our angle's a little twisted. But we can discern a few things, a few pieces of context, rockwork and structures, etc. And then here's some concept art from on the ground, and behind that, really, what you're looking for is the rockwork in a couple of those domes. You can't see those, but here's the rockwork. That's all that rockwork behind it, right here. And then, some of these force perspective spires are cropping out behind it. Also, you may have noticed the shuttlecraft. The shuttlecraft is right here. And there it is in the model right next to the Falcon. And then lastly, we've got one more look at the market, a little more focused look at the overall scope of the market. And by the way, this is kind of a fun little thing. The very first thing, or one of the very first things we saw them build, again, we can see here, it's still in its, it hasn't evolved, really. This thing right here, that wall they built as some sort of fortification, you know, it's, I think that's backstage. Pretty sure that's backstage, but we watched them. That was one of the very first things. You can see the clip here. Fascinating. As we pull back, just the sheer amount of dirt that was in this picture relative to what we're seeing in this image now is remarkable. How far we've come. All right, guys. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got, found a few things. Let us know as you took that time to sort of slowly browse the land. Let us know if you spotted anything that's fun to notice. Let us know in the comments below, and do be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching, guys. We love you very much. We'll see you on the other side of Galaxy's Edge. Fresh baked. We've got lots more videos for you to see, so grab a churro and check out some of our other videos and have your mind blown by how much fun we're having. We truly are the best of Disney Bake Fresh Daily. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Fresh baked!